This tutorial is to show you how to navigate your Chromebook. The first thing here on our little tour is to find your apps. Bottom left hand corner, if you hover, it'll give you a tech tip, and it's the apps. And then if you go ahead and click on it, your apps will pop up. You notice I have 4 bars across the bottom. That's because I have 4 pages of apps, so I can click between those. I can also click and drag an app around to reorganize it. But you may not have any apps yet. This might be your first time in the Chrome store. To go shopping per se, find the app that's actually called the store and go ahead and click on that. And much like the iPad App Store, you can search for something if you know the title or a search term. Here you can type something in. So if I'm looking for an annotation tool, I can do a search for that. We'll see if anything pops up here. Annotation, of course, means to write on top of something or type on top of something. So here I have a couple things that popped up. At the top, you'll notice our extensions, and below I have some apps. Now, what I was referring to earlier by showing you where your apps are, that would be this category here. All of your apps then go to that bottom left-hand corner. They would be located here. If you did, in fact, grab an extension, extensions are located somewhere different. They are actually located up here next to your search bar. Usually they show up as little icons here. I have too many and might have become a list, but yours should show up next to your search bar there in the corner. If you want an app, you can go ahead and click on it. You're still in shopping mode, and much like your iPad App Store, you can see an overview, read details, reviews, related. Just make sure it is what you actually want. Once you've made that decision, then you can go ahead and choose free. Again, an app will locate in the bottom left, and if it's an extension, it will locate up here next to your search bar. Besides apps, the next thing you might want to do is adjust and personalize your Chromebook. If you go to your bottom right hand corner where it has that Wi-Fi or internet connection icon, go ahead and click that and choose settings, and I'll talk you through some of the settings you may want to consider changing. One, a lot of people like to personalize their Chromebooks and set a wallpaper. You can definitely do that. Choose wallpaper and pick your favorite picture. Surprise Me is kind of fun. It just cycles through and it'll give you something different. Let's see. For home button, a lot of people like just to have the waverly-shell page come up, but you can definitely change that if you want to. I like to see my bookmarks. Bookmarks, if you have them, are located along the right. There's a little double arrow here, and these would be any of my bookmarks. One thing you might notice, you have bookmarks if you're sitting at a desktop, and if you don't happen to see those bookmarks here on the Chromebook, it could be because you're not signed into Chrome on your desktop. So definitely make sure you're signed into Chrome there if you want all of your stuff to sync. Looking down here at the device settings, a couple options. Touchpad. Some people like the tap to click. I also like that, so I have mine selected. Traditional scrolling. This allows you to use 2 fingers and pull down, and your screen will move up. And then when you use your 2 fingers to push up, your screen will go down. And then Australian scrolling is actually the opposite. My preference happens to be Australian, so I'll leave that. Keyboard settings. By default, the button on your keyboard that looks like a little magnifying glass is actually set to search your computer, to search the internet for different keywords you might type. But a lot of people are used to having the caps lock there. So if you want to change that so that the search icon is now caps lock, which is my preference, you can definitely change that here. You can also change your control button, give that a different function. The same with your alt button. When you have it the way you want it, go ahead and click OK. Next, on displays, I would recommend just leaving this how it is at the best. I'm going to go ahead and X out and leave that. Another thing people sometimes like to adjust under Show Advanced Settings, you can change your date and time. If you like the 24-hour clock, you can check mark that. And then if you keep going here, some people like to change their font size. By default, you're going to be at a medium size, which some people find hard to read. So if you want that a little bit bigger, again, that's under Web Content, you can make that large or very large. If you are a font person, you can customize your fonts and make them a default. You can make your page zoom, by default be a bigger size. I'm going to go ahead and change mine back to 100. You can choose what you want to happen when you start up your Chromebook. I have a specific set of pages that launch. I have 5 different tabs. My recommendations for you would be the Waverly-Shell Rock homepage, the tech website, Canvas, and Infinite Campus would be 4 of my top picks. To set your own set of tabs that open automatically, go ahead and choose Set Pages. And you can build that list there. If you need to add another one at any time, you just go ahead and click Add a New Page. And then that will be one of your launching pages that starts up. Once you're done here, go ahead and X out. A couple other little things that might be nice to know. If you take your 2 fingers and do the right click, you put them about an inch apart and click on your trackpad, you can change your shelf position to the left or the right. So now all your icons will show up over here. I actually prefer mine across the bottom, so I'm going to change that back. And if you right click again, you can see you can change your wallpaper from this screen. Auto hide actually has your shelf roll away, so when you're on a web page it actually hides on the bottom, and then when you drag your mouse over it, it comes back. One more thing here, you'll see sometimes a number may appear, or you could have a 0. These are your notifications, so anything that you need to know about your device or any program. So I have 1 notification, so I can click that and read all about it. Can exit out. Now I have back to 0 notifications. Here's my time, battery life, and that should be a good start to using your Chromebook.